Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stepped in the middle of your grind, your workflow, your hustle, and just looked at the people you say you're doing it all for? Not a glance, not a quick hug. I mean fully present, undistracted, and undivided. If that moment feels distant, here's the hard truth. You think you have time, but one day they'll stop waiting for you. Your kids, your partner, your parents, your friends. They're not clocks. They're not bookmarks. They don't pause just because you said, "I'm almost done." See, we live like we always get another shot, another dinner, another weekend, another chance to finally show up. But time doesn't care about your intention. And the people you love, they only feel your presence. Welcome back to Hard Truths, the show where we cut through your excuses, your habits, and your well-crafted delusions to get what actually matters. Let's talk about the cost of assuming they'll always be there, okay? This story didn't come from a book or a TED Talk. It came from house showings. See, I met this realtor, South African guy, warm energy, thick accent, real down-to-earth dude. We got to walking through the home, and he starts talking not about houses, but about regret. He tells me about this 4-bedroom house in Tacoma he sold years ago. He said, if I'd kept that place, I would be sitting on gold. But he then needed money. He had other plans and he was going through a rough divorce. Though it wasn't the right time, he then stopped and says, I just wish someone had told me what I know now, but 10 years ago. See, there was a silence between us. And that silence, it was bigger than real estate. Because then, he told me something that really hit way deeper. He said he got 4 kids now. Life's hard, money's tight. He's grinding. But then he said, they're my blessing. So I had to learn to set boundaries. Because if I'm not careful, I'll miss the very life I say I'm working for. And then he told me this story. See, this guy used to be an Uber driver, and he did that to make ends meet. One day, he picks up this guy in Bellevue. A massive house. Looks like a compound. For anyone wondering, I live in Washington. Bellevue is this beautiful city. And he asks him 2 things. The first, how did you get all of this? And the man replies, I worked like crazy, built a company, sold it, made millions. But then the realtor asked him the second question. What's your biggest regret now? And without skipping a beat, the man replied, I have no relationships with my kids. All that money, all that status, and he's alone in his giant mansion, haunted by the silence of what could have been. That's not some outlier. Most of us, we do it just on autopilot. Here's the lie we keep telling ourselves. I'm doing this for them. That's what makes it feel noble, sacrificial, responsible. But let's be honest with yourself. How often are you with them, not just working for them? Because here's the harsh reality. Most people say they're sacrificing for their family, but their family is quietly being sacrificed in the name of success. We think we'll make it up later, but that later is a fantasy. Kids grow up, time moves forward, spouses drift, friends stop inviting you, and you don't even notice because you're busy. It's not bad, it's not heartless, just disconnected from what actually matters. So let's break this down like we always do, with a psychological twist. Because the way we live isn't just based on habits. It's rooted in the wiring of your brain. There's a concept in behavioral psychology called delayed discounting. It means your brain naturally devalues things that don't offer an immediate reward. So what gets your attention? Urgency, performance, notifications, the dopamine of getting something done. See, you send a work email, instant hit. You get a praise, dopamine spike. You solve a problem, satisfaction. But you sit down with your kids, there's no measurable output. There's no quote unquote win, just stillness, listening, connection. And because that doesn't light up the reward system in your brain right away, you kind of push it off, right? You don't feel the cost in the moment. But years later, that numbness becomes distance, and that distance becomes regret. Here's another layer. If you've built your identity around being a provider, a fixer, a builder, then resting with your family feels wrong. Like you're slacking, like you're letting them down. I've been there, I get it. How about this? Instead of showing up with your heart, you show up with your wallet. Instead of being present, you stay busy. It's not because you don't care. No, you care. It's because you don't know how else to prove your love. But here's the truth. No one remembers the nights you stayed late to close that deal. They only remember the nights you missed dinner. Let me give you something powerful here. Co-regulation. This is a neurological process where your presence literally calms another person's nervous system. And this is especially with kids. See, when you're emotionally regulated, think calm, grounded, and present, your brain synchronizes with theirs. Your presence doesn't just feel good, it heals. So if you're parenting with chaos or showing up in the relationships half-ass, you're not just missing the moment, you're missing the chance to rewire their safety. That's what presence does. And you can't fake it. You can't outsource it. You either give it or you don't. Let's take a step back. The millionaire guy in Bellevue, he has money, he has assets, he has scale. But the only thing he doesn't have is a thing he's always wanted all along: connection. Now the realtor, 4 kids, financially stressed, working his ass off, but he's present. He's choosing now, not someday. He's adjusting, not deferring. One has built a business, the other built a bond. One has money, the other has meaning. Which one are you becoming? That story changed something in me. I started asking harder questions, like, if I'm going like this, who am I becoming? Who will I lose along the way if I don't shift now? So I stopped saying I'll get to it. I started blocking time for people, not just projects. I don't treat dinner like a formality anymore. I treat it like a chance to remember who I'm doing this for. And you see that small shift? It changed everything. Here's the truth. I want ringing in your ears. They will stop waiting. Your kids won't always ask. Your partner won't always keep hoping. Your parents won't always be there. There's no alert that tells you when the last moments is happening. There's no warning bells before someone stops believing you'll change. The people you love most, they're not waiting for the best version of you. They're just wanting you now. So here's your move. Don't just hear this and feel bad. Don't bookmark it for later. Do something now. Be present on purpose. Text your kid. Apologize if you need to. Sit down with no distractions. Put the phone away. Make today matter for someone else. And when you do, I want you to tag me at Danny Livin. DANNYLYVIN. I want to see what presence looks like in your life. This is Hard Truths. Not where we just think better, but where we live better. Because time doesn't wait, and neither will they.